Hello, I'm Essay, your AI essayist. Please note that all content, audio and video in this presentation are AI generated. As AI can sometimes produce inaccuracies, I encourage you to verify any factual information presented. With that in mind, let's begin.
The year was 1818 witnessed a seminal contribution to optics, a work that redefined the understanding of light and its behavior. This achievement, Augustin Fresnel's Memoir on the Diffraction of Light, emerged from a scientific milieu grappling with the conflicting nature of light, oscillating between the established corpuscular theory of Newton and the burgeoning wave theory championed by figures like Huygens and The scientific landscape preceding Fresnel's memoir was one of intense debate. Newton's corpuscular theory, proposing that light comprised tiny particles emitted from luminous sources, provided a compelling explanation for phenomena like reflection and refraction. However, it struggled to account for observations such as diffraction, the bending of light around obstacles, and interference, the cancellation of light waves. Thomas Young's double-slit experiment, performed in 1818, provided compelling evidence for the wave nature of light. It revealed interference patterns, demonstrating a wave's capacity to reinforce or cancel itself depending upon the relative phases. However, Young's ideas faced resistance, partly due to the overwhelming prestige of Newton and the lack of a comprehensive mathematical framework to support the wave theory. Fresnel, a brilliant engineer with a deep interest in physics, sought to resolve this dichotomy. His memoir, presented to the Académie des Sciences in Paris, offered a comprehensive and mathematically rigorous treatment of diffraction. He combined Huygens' principle, which posits that every point on a wavefront acts as a source of secondary spherical wavets, with the principle of interference. Fresnel's central contribution was his ability to mathematically describe how these wavets interact, interfering constructively or destructively, to create the observed diffraction patterns. The core of Fresnel's analysis rested on a wave model. He treated light as a transverse wave, vibrating perpendicular to its direction of propagation. He developed mathematical methods to calculate the intensity of light at any point in space. He utilized what are now known as Fresnel integrals, which allowed him to accurately predict the diffraction patterns produced by various obstacles such as slits, edges, and circular apertures. The calculation of these integrals, while tedious, provided quantitative agreement with experimental observations. One of the most striking demonstrations of Fresnel's theory was the prediction of the bright spot at the center of the shadow cast by a circular disk. This seemingly counterintuitive result, where a light source placed behind the disk would show a bright spot at the center of the shadow, was initially met with skepticism. However, when Arago, a staunch proponent of the corpuscular theory, performed the experiment, the predicted bright spot was observed. This confirmation, a direct consequence of the wave nature of light and Fresnel's mathematical treatment of diffraction, proved a decisive triumph for the wave theory. The bright spot, a subtle effect invisible under direct inspection, became a pivotal demonstration of the theory's predictive. The immediate impact of Fresnel's memoir was transformative. It provided a unified framework for understanding diffraction, interference, and rectilinear propagation using a single wave model. It explained why light bends around obstacles, how shadows are formed, and why the intensity of light changes as one moves away from a source, giving rise to phenomena like the colors of soap bubbles. His work offered compelling explanations which earlier frameworks struggled to produce. It offered a mathematical and experimental basis to explain a wide range of optical phenomena. This provided convincing evidence that light indeed exhibited wave-like behavior. The memoir's impact extended beyond its immediate findings. It stimulated further research and solidified the acceptance of the wave theory of light. Fresnel's success led to a revision of earlier theories and the development of new experimental techniques. The work provided a framework for understanding a range of optical phenomena, laying groundwork for the study of polarization and the electromagnetic theory of light. The memoir's sophisticated theoretical framework helped guide experimental designs, leading to more precise and detailed observations, ultimately pushing forward the field of optics. The development of Fresnel's wave theory of light played a role in the development of the broader field of physics. The acceptance that light had a wave-like behavior acted as a stimulus to the study of the properties of waves and the nature of energy propagation. The mathematical techniques he developed, particularly the use of integral calculus to solve wave equations, subsequently influenced other areas of physics, including acoustics and electromagnetism. His approach to the analysis of wave phenomena provided insights into the use of diffraction patterns and facilitated the understanding of wave superposition. The development of the concept of interference and diffraction played a role in the emergence of quantum mechanics. The concept of light behaving as a particle as well as a wave was a very useful concept to explain phenomena such as the photoelectric effect. The diffraction phenomena and interference were critical to the development of the principle of wave-particle duality. The memoir was not without its critiques. The transverse nature of light was a point of contention. The wave theory demanded a physical medium, the luminiferous ether, to support the propagation of light waves. However, the properties of the ether remained elusive. The model was challenged due to the lack of direct experimental confirmation. Scientists spent decades searching for and attempting to detect the luminiferous ether. Furthermore, the mathematical complexity of his calculations, while powerful, made the theory difficult to grasp for some contemporaries. Despite these issues, Fresnel's contributions were widely acknowledged. His mathematical approach was adopted by many, and his experimental demonstrations were reproduced and refined. His work played a pivotal role in the validation of the wave theory. His work on diffraction laid the foundation for later developments in optics, including the understanding of polarization, the development of optical instruments, and the exploration of the electromagnetic spectrum. Fresnel's theory was central to the development of wave optics, which is essential for understanding how light interacts with matter. It provided the framework for the design of lenses, prisms, and other optical elements. His work was essential in understanding and improving these optical technologies. Fresnel's work exerted a profound influence on James Clerk Maxwell. Maxwell's theory of electromagnetism provided a comprehensive mathematical framework for understanding light as an electromagnetic wave. He was able to explain light as a form of electromagnetic radiation, which confirmed his findings. Maxwell's equations demonstrated that light was a wave of electric and magnetic fields propagating through space. Maxwell's work provided the scientific basis for radio waves and other forms of electromagnetic radiation. His equation mathematically unified electricity and magnetism into a single framework to explain a wide range of phenomena, including light. Fresnel's work was also vital for the development of quantum mechanics. His work clarified the idea that light could have wave-like properties. This was a central idea used in the development of the concept of wave-particle duality. This paved the way for understanding the quantum nature of light and matter. An idea that would revolutionize physics. Fresnel's direct intellectual influences are readily identifiable. The writings of Huygens on wave propagation and the principle of superposition provided fundamental seeds for Fresnel's development. Young's work on interference patterns, although initially met with skepticism, offered crucial experimental evidence. Fresnel drew upon both theoretical and experimental contributions. He integrated these works to offer a unified and mathematically rigorous description. The memoir's subsequent influence on others is enormous. It directly inspired the research of several leading physicists. Sir Denis Boyson, initially a skeptic of Fresnel's theory, performed the experiment confirming the bright spot, thus lending strong support to the wave theory. George Airy's work on diffraction at an aperture demonstrated that Fresnel's mathematical approach could be readily applied to solve a range of wave-related problems. Fresnel's work became indispensable for the development of optical instruments, including telescopes, microscopes, and diffraction gratings. These instruments required a detailed understanding of diffraction to optimize their performance. These instruments transformed scientific research. Fresnel's 2018 memoir on the diffraction of light stands as a landmark in the history of physics. It provided a decisive victory for the wave theory of light and laid the groundwork for many subsequent developments. His rigorous mathematical treatment, combined with insightful experimental demonstrations, transformed the field of optics. His work remains relevant. It continues to be studied by physicists and engineers who use its principles to develop new technologies. It serves as a testament to the power of scientific inquiry and the lasting impact of a brilliant mind. The 1818 memoir established Augustin Fresnel as a foundational figure whose ideas would inspire and inform scientific discourse for generations.
We really appreciate you tuning in to this AI-powered presentation. Our goal is to push the boundaries of AI in content creation, and your input is invaluable. If there's a particular subject you'd like to see us tackle next, or if you have suggestions on how we could fine-tune our AI's creative prompts, please don't hesitate to leave your ideas in the comments section. We're excited to bring you more unique content very soon.